So today is me doing a drawing and talking about a subject which I know a little bit about, but probably not enough to be talking about, so nothing else is new. Today's topic is AI and why AI doesn't really bother me as much as it used to. I'll say a few things up top about this subject just so you know. First of all, I tried to make this video like 6 months to a year ago, and what happened was I actually filmed the exact same drawing that you see me drawing right now, but the footage got deleted somehow, and I just kind of gave up on that subject. But I'm really glad that actually happened, because now I have the opportunity to reapproach this subject with a perspective I hadn't considered, having a little bit to do with my background as a teacher and just some thoughts that I've had. So I'm here to share that today. I'm gonna make the video length match what I have to say. So if you see it going really fast, then I did a good job. And if you see the video going in slow motion, you should probably turn this video off now, because it's gonna get rambly. Anyway, as far as my background, I am what's called a traditional illustrator. That means that I work with paper and pens and pencils, and I draw things by hand, as opposed to a digital illustrator who works mainly with digital tools like tablets and styluses and computers and programs like Photoshop. There's no difference between one or the other as far as who is more skilled or which is better. It just happens to be the way that I enjoy creating art, and I do actually use digital means for art from time to time when I'm doing work for a client or something like that. But in my day job, I am a teacher, and I have a job position that is known as an ed tech, which means that I'm in charge of training teachers how to use technology in their classrooms. That would include apps that we have, and also just in general things like spreadsheets and presentations and computer networking kind of things. So that's what I do for my job. And also, as part of that, I am a part of an AI committee, which is a group of teachers within my district that are trying to figure out what are the proper guidelines, expectations, and things for when teachers use AI or want to use AI or want to manage students' use of AI within their classroom. So I've learned a lot about AI in the last year, but I would definitely not call myself an expert. I've actually taught other teachers about what AI is, and I still wouldn't call myself an expert. I think that the only true experts in AI are the people who are actively creating it, because it changes so much. Like from the very beginning that AI started to become something that artists were talking about, I'd say that was maybe a year ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. It's so different now from what it used to be, but there's some patterns here we can pick up on. So I also want to say something else about AI that a lot of artists are not saying. As a concept, AI is incredible. And I think that tech innovators, the people who are creating these programs, are also creatives. They've created this work, almost like how artists sit down and create a work, like a drawing or something. They've created this program that does a thing, and it's very interesting, and they're not our enemies. So I do have more concerns with how AI is sometimes pitted against humans in the job market, but that doesn't have anything to do with the people who created it. It's more like the people who are utilizing it or want to utilize it in a certain way. So we'll talk a little bit about that. The question is, artists kind of had a little bit of a panic about AI, and I think probably still there are some very concerned, and that's valid and legitimate. I'm not trying to take that away from them, but yeah, so for myself, I don't really make money as an artist, and you should consider that in my perspective too. I create art because I like it, because it makes me feel good, but it doesn't pay my bills. So I think that if you're an artist that works in advertising, commercial art, graphic design, or something like that, I'd be curious if you want to share in the comments below, how has AI art affected your industry? Because that's a perspective I have not heard a lot of yet. But I think that another thing that I am noticing when I look at social media, or I look at conversations about art and AI, generative AI and images, things like that, people, the human beings that are viewing this art, really do want to know if art is AI or from a human creator. And that's something that is a great latching on point for this conversation. Additionally, if it's possible that an AI program took an idea from an actual human artist and did not give them credit, that is plagiarism, literally. It doesn't matter at all if a program is doing it or if another human is doing it. It's a problem, and we continue to see that in the art world, both in the AI sense and other artists, and humans don't like that. That's a very important thing to do. It's important to freak out about plagiarism. It is a big deal. So, but I'm not worried about AI as a concept. And I think the reason is that human connection. I remember when I was young, I went to a museum once, and they had some art on display from a cartoonist. I'm pretty sure it was Bill Watterson, who is the creator of Calvin and Hobbes. Beautiful artwork. He subconsciously affects my style in so many ways. The fact that I use pen and ink and that I watercolor over the top of that sometimes, that's all from just watching and reading his comics when I was a kid. And I remember looking very close through the glass in the museum and seeing next to some representations of his original art that he drew himself, I remember seeing little pencil lines. And those pencil lines are the reasons that I'm not worried about AI art, because that solidified my love for Bill Watterson right there. Those pencil lines. Pencil lines meaning that he actually put his hand to this piece of paper. He drew some lines to help him figure out how it was going to go. And then he built the drawing that I saw in the newspaper when I was a kid over the top of those pencil lines. And he imperfectly didn't erase all of the pencil lines. That's huge. Because at that moment when I saw that artwork, I was looking at what a human does to create art, and I was making a connection with another human. And I think that's why we like art in the first place, to make a connection with another human. On the other hand, when you know that an algorithm is what's at work, it can actually be very frustrating. I remember recently also I was calling a company, I won't say which company, but I was preparing my taxes, and you could probably guess which company I was dealing with. There was an error on the way my tax return was filed, and so I had to call them, and I got an automated recording, and my wife was laughing at me in the corner as I was yelling into the phone, "Talk to a human, let me talk to a human," because sometimes the right vocal thing will trigger the AI program to shut off and connect you with a human being. And eventually I figured out what the right combination of words was, and I talked to a human being, and she was helping me sort out the problem with my taxes, and in the background I heard some screaming of a small child, and she said, "Oh, sorry about that. I work from home and I have a 3-year-old." And I laughed because I have a human connection with this person. And that made the whole thing better. I felt better. I felt more relaxed because I was talking to a human. So human connection is a big part of what we desire as humans. And it's also a big part of why we enjoy looking at art. We're seeing what someone's going through. So in that sense, too, there are mistakes and little quirks to what human artists make. For example, I'll put a line in the wrong place. I'll shade something funny. Sometimes even I'll like the funny way that I shaded something. It'll become a part of my style. Artistic style, I feel like a lot of it comes from mistakes. And so through making human mistakes, we actually move the medium forward. We try something new. We build a unique style. And this is one where if you're someone who works in AI, I'd really love to hear your perspective or have you answer this question for me because I'm wondering if AI is pulling ideas from existing artwork or from an existing database. You would think that that program is only capable of returning things that are similar to what it has seen. If that's true, and that makes me think that AI is allowed to be creative within the parameters of what's already been done. So we need human artists to move the medium forward, to make those mistakes that become style, that become a movement, that becomes something else. Which would make AI art inherently derivative. And I feel like the purpose of AI is to find a more perfect response every time, rather than to seek out imperfection and weirdness and quirkiness, which is what we seek out in art, at least what I seek out in art. I won't speak for everyone else. I don't know. I don't know if AI can ever be programmed to make something weird. So if you want weird stuff, you need humans. And that's what I'm here for. So I guess that's those are my thoughts on AI. I would love to hear your thoughts as well. And I have a couple suggestions just to finish up this video. What should we do about AI? I think that there's not a lot we can do to make AI go away. It's not going to go away. I don't think it needs to go away. I've found it to be useful as something to help me with certain menial tasks in my job. But at the end of the day, I still, as a human, am the person that has the final write-off. I put the ideas together. I make them work. I make them unique. That's part of what I do, right? But if you are a non-artist person and you want to support artists, I think, first of all, support some human artists that you like. I would say not me, because I've set up literally no way for you to do that. I don't have a store. I don't sell merch. You can watch this video, which you're doing, so thank you. But go buy some art from an artist that you like. There's a lot of people out there that are putting their stuff out there. I think that you should push for or vote for, if it comes up on the ballots in your country or wherever you're at, transparency with AI. People want to know when AI is AI. And also, what we don't have now is where are the resources that were used to create certain products. So references, basically, I'm going to be a middle school teacher, AI needs to reference where it got its ideas from. If that was a problem, that would solve it, if we just know where the ideas came from. I also think you should probably be nice to people who work in AI. They're not your enemies. Again, the CEO of a company that wants to lay off its workers and replace them with AI, that's probably the person you should go after. The person who created the program is not necessarily defining the context in which it's going to be used. So something like that would be good to remember. And it's also good to learn and ask questions. So if there are any experts in your life on the subject, ask them lots of questions. Find out if the thing that you believe or the thing that you're worried about is actually a thing, or if it's just a hyperbole of what kind of the fear-mongering going around with this technology is. So I think also, just in a final sense, AI can be a tool to aid human employees, or it can be a tool used to replace human employees. And if you see businesses and companies taking steps towards using AI to help their employees do their work more efficiently or with less stress, support those companies. And when you see companies making a move to take AI programs to replace their human employees, maybe don't support those companies. In the end, AI doesn't work without humans. And that's the point of it. And the point of this drawing too, this will not work. A robot that is doing a job and then filling its own cup in order to do that job again. It's a fantasy. Human input is a part of AI from the beginning, and it will be towards the end. So I think we shouldn't worry about it, but I think also be clear on how we want it to function in our society, because we have the opportunity if we go all at once and say, this is what we need. Anyway, those are my thoughts, and I would definitely love to hear yours. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. This is not my normal type of video, but something a little bit different today. Check out my book, What Kind of Pen Is That?, which is available on my website, stepheninks.com. AI was not involved in the creation of either of those things, and I'll see you in the next video. All right.